Hey guys, welcome. As I said, I'm going to start recording these pretty simple explanations and prayers slash meditation to really tap into uh, the supernatural part of you. And it's not anything mystical that people try and make it. It's God's natural design for you. You're naturally supernatural is really the title. And and what's the point of all the spirituality, etc., if we can't experience God, if we can't actually practically live a great life? And so the purpose of prayer slash meditation is not to get good at prayer and meditation or to be very disciplined and have a prayer time. It's to get good at life. It's to experience life to the fullest. And as we've been sharing, your true nature is the perfection of God. You've always been loved by God. You're supported by God. And the really cool thing, I think, is that science, practicality, actual experience myself, and so many testimonies of thousands of people that I've gotten. Um, it's very practical, is you can experience it. It's naturally supposed to be supernatural. Um, it just means that you're not limited by the physical effort. You're not limited by your physical um, uh, abilities. Everybody has this this ability to tap into a love that loves you so much, a power that is so powerful. You have access to a higher power. We could call it God. Most of us from a Christian perspective call it the Spirit of God, the love of God. Um, uh, but it's actually real. And what's really interesting, it's not the good versus bad God we grew up with. It's not a judgmental, vindictive God we grew up with. It's a loving God. We all have access to this love and power that's so much greater than ourselves. And it supports you. And more importantly, it's responsive to you. And it's just learning to tap into that. And so we're really just going to try demystify it. And so I'll teach like this first one I'm going to teach is module one or prayer meditation one is rapidly turn your goals into reality. So I'm going to explain it here, and then I'll pause, and then I'll record a separate short prayer slash meditation that you can use. And I promise you'll get results because it's a it's how God designed us. It's a truth of God. It's how things actually work. And we've proven it over and over and over, not only in my own life, but other people's lives. And so it's really just uh, uh, all change. If we really want to change, I think it's interesting is that science is in our current knowing, what we know now is we can break this down into energy packets that in the quantum world, the source of all things is energy. And somehow we've been so miraculously designed that what we think and what we feel actually has an effect on and shapes and bends reality and shapes the experiences that we have in life. Now, you're a powerful co-creator with God. That's what's so interesting about this. So if you want anything to change on the outside, the change has to come within. And the great news is it's not that hard. It's just very different than a lot of, like I said, the judgmental God, the frantic prayers to this God. Why would God do this? Are not exactly how we've been taught. In the Greek and Hebrew to Latin to English translations. In fact, most of the time they're exact opposite of how it works. But the good news, like I said, is it's actually good news. It's easy. It's much easier than you think, and it really comes to this. When you let go of the lower energies of fear, anxiousness, lack, um, all those things that don't feel good that you would love to be free from, is what's always been true, the limitlessness of you, the perfection of you, God's highest perfection, the fact that every millisecond, um, which is 1/1000th of a second, 86 billion neurons are firing. That is so divine, guys. It's pretty amazing. That's who you are. So every millisecond, 86 billion electrical transactions happening in your brain. It turns out your heart has its own brain system as well. That God didn't design us to be flawed. We've never been flawed. It was a mistranslation. You were designed in perfection. You are perfect. You're going to return to perfection. And so those things are there for our experience. And so, like I said, when we let go of the energies of fear, anxiousness, lack, the true nature of who you've always been, the oneness of God, which is the love, the joy, the happiness, and bliss of God, naturally flows out of you. As we've been sharing, it's more of letting go of what's not true about you, and since they're not true about you, it's easy to let go. And then this supernatural power of God, which just means the power of all creation, not my physical ability, I have access to, and I can rapidly turn goals into reality. In this case, instead of struggling my human effort, when I tap into that logarithmic scale of power, um, things start to happen. I go from struggle to effortless success, where everything starts to work. Why? Because I'm working with God. I'm not working against God. And so we've just covered up all that with our wrong beliefs. And, I'm going to share a couple of my favorite quotes with you because I think these are so great and they're real. Um, you might wonder if they're real if you haven't experienced them, but that's the point of these meditations. And so I love this one um, by Dr. Joe Dispenza, where he says, people believe we have to drag our body through space and time to get what we want. That's matter pushing matter. That's, hey, if I do X, if I work this hard, if I save this much, if I do this much, then these things will happen. That's fine. That works. Problem is, it takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of time. You usually get tired. Um, and that is the lie of separation, matter trying to change matter. The lie of separation means you're separate from God and that you have to beg this outside God to do things for you. And the fact is we're one with God and the love of God responds to us. We were designed that way. Love responds, guys. So the truth is everything that is matter or physical is surrounded by a field of love. They call it the quantum field. You can learn to create from this field instead of matter. You could say it this way. Do you want to do it the hard way or the easy way? The easiest way is to create from the spirit, working with the power of God versus your own human effort. When you get a picture of what you desire in your mind and the emotion as if you already have it, independent of any situation, factor, time, you're like a transducer. You actually collapse space and time. The event is drawn to you. You don't need to go anywhere to get it. Now that's really pretty cool. Um, I'm going to share Cheyenne Bannister too. This, like I said, is take what you need, leave what you don't. Um, but this is pretty amazing. When she was 15, she was homeless on the street, and now she's one of the largest um, venture capitalists in the world. And so when she does these great investments, whether it's PayPal with Peter Thiel or Uber or SpaceX with Elon Musk, this is what she does, guys. This is what she does. She goes, I'm so hopeful. Hello, that's a good thing. Versus watching the news and, oh my God, is this a sign that the world is going to end? No, 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 guys. I'll actually do a message on that. There are no wars and rumors of wars coming. Total mistranslation. In fact, the root of that is lachem. It's life, the bread. And it says, you shall have the consummation of this bread and the life that comes from the consummation of this bread. Now, how far off is that from there shall be wars and rumors of wars? So if we're these divine co-creators, and from a perspective where these pastors are teaching there's going to be wars and rumor of wars, then if you go read the rest, it gets worse. Not only that, um, it's that's just the beginning if you read it in English, and it says then you're going to be killed and all these things, and most of you will turn away. So you spend your whole life trying to evangelize, and then it says red letters, Jesus's words. If you read it in English, there's going to be wars and rumor of wars. That's not even the bad part. The bad part is the whole world's going to turn against you, and most of you are going to deny me. Well, what the versus what it actually says when you're working with God, you shall experience the consummation and the life that comes from it. You shall experience it. That's what that verse is all about. So anyway, here's sorry about the digress, but here's Simon Bannister. I'm so hopeful. It's a lot less hard than you think. Wow, because she's working with the power of God. Now I get to dream about what the world could be and I get to dream about how life could be. So she sits there and she goes, I'm so hopeful because I've learned this principle that I can sit and dream about how life could be, and magically it starts to happen. I would suggest to everybody relax a little bit more, try a little bit less, trust a little bit more. Perhaps, just perhaps, there's something bigger than all of us that binds us all together. It's the divine matrix that Dr. Braden talks about. It's the mirror that other people talk about, that what you do, the thoughts and feelings that you have within your body creates an electrical charge or an electrical magnetical charge. It's energy, basically. Electromagnetic, sorry, charge. And it's just energy emitted from your body. And the crazy thing is that God designed us in such a magnificent way that the whole world begins to reflect that. So when you let go of the lower energies of anxiousness, fear, etc., all of those things naturally fall away because you've changed energy. They have to. And when you have an elevated energy and you start to experience life how it could be, dream of life how it could be, that's a different energy. And all of a sudden, you'll see synchronicities start to happen. Life starts to happen for you. Everything starts to get better, guys. It says, all I have to dream about this. And somehow, just somehow, there's something that connects all of us, that binds us all together. There's a love we have access to that binds us all together. And when you do that, she says, all of a sudden, everything just becomes easier and easier. And there's not a lot of human effort you have to put into anything. Well, I want to do it that way. I want to do it the easy way, not the hard way. So let me just walk you through this. The great part is, like I said, if you want anything to change your life, at the end of the day, if you want to boil it down, it's a change in energy. Now, the great part is God didn't make this hard for us. He never would. It's a God of love and harmony, and He wants us to experience the very best. He wants us to experience life and life more abundantly. So the great part is when you slow your basically your brain waves down from what's called beta, this overly active, critical, the sky is falling, there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. That actually is the exact opposite of what the scripture actually says, which is why it doesn't feel good and puts you into fear and anxiousness. But there's some very easy ways to slow down your brain waves from that analytical mind to tap into the subconscious mind, because that's where all your beliefs and programs are, guys. And once you learn how to do it very simply, um, you can tell your subconscious anything you want. You can literally reprogram yourself in a very short period of time. And if you have these different belief systems and different thoughts, you naturally release different chemicals in your body. I don't want to get into all the technicalities of it, but you feel better. So the energy that your body's creating, the thoughts and feelings, the electromagnetic field, the energy that's being broadcast out of your body changes. Well, the physical world must change. It's a law. That's how life works, guys. So anyway, the good news is you already know how to do this. You're naturally supernatural. In fact, you do it twice a day. When you go to bed, you go from beta, analytical thinking, worrying mind. You get into what's called the alpha states, just slower brain waves, to theta to delta. That's when you drift off to sleep. You also do it naturally when you wake up in the morning. So the best times to do these is in the morning when you wake up and before you go to bed. Now, you can readily program yourself, as I'll show you in the meditations, to do it any time of day. But those are very natural times of day. And so my point in this is you know how to do this. This isn't hard. You already know how. You do it. God designed you this way. When you wake up and you go to bed, you're actually doing all these things. So when you slow down your brain waves from the conscious analytical mind, you enter into those slower brain waves called alpha, theta, delta. You don't have to understand all that. This is what you do. Little kids do this and don't understand a word of it. So like I said, is when you let go of those lower energies, which will show you how to do, the energy field created by your heart and mind are much more powerful than the lower energy fields of fear, anxiousness, lack, etc. And like I said, all the things that were bothering you, the things that you were struggling for, drop away because it's a different energy. And all of life, all of creation, every atom in the universe now moves to fulfill your thoughts. That's what's really interesting because your thoughts have an emotional component called feelings or emotions, energy and motion. So the physical world will automatically start shaping and reflecting what you're doing on inside. So that's how it works. Now, here's what I would recommend you do. Before you pray, before you meditate, I would recommend you do a couple things. Is I would get a journal or a notebook. Study after study have shown that people that actually write it down, because you have to actually think a thought, and don't worry about how you're going to get it, where you're going to come from. Let that up to God, guys. Let the details um, up to God, the love of all creation that loves you, that responds to you, that of course every possibility already exists and you can experience it. Any possibility, because it's just a possibility of energy. Everything that is created out of the same source, which is God, which is energy. The source of all creation, of life, of love, is God. And so uh, a great place is I would get a notebook, I would, a journal. And because when you think about if I could have anything, what would I design my life to look like? Now, another way to say it, you could ask yourself this. This is a great place to start, I think, as well. Ask yourself, if I knew all of my prayers were answered, what would it feel like? So if you knew that, and it is true that the love of God is responsive, that all your prayers are answered, because it's just a reflection of what you do inside. How would you feel? What would you what would you let go of? What fears, anxiousness, problems in your life that you'd love to be free from? What would you be willing to let go of? Like, oh, I'd be so willing to let go of all of that. um, which is really simple. But what feeling would you feel like if you knew all your prayers answered? What would life look like? And so I would write down on the left side of the paper, just go, if I knew that all my prayers were answered, this is what I'd like life to look like. I would have I would have this is the kind of career or business I would love to experience. These are kind of relationships I would have. Um, this is the kind of divine health uh, and body and mind I would have. On the other side of the paper, how would you feel knowing that love is responsive and all creation responds to you? How would you feel knowing that all your feelings and or all your prayers are answered? What would you let go of? How free would you feel? And you can use some of those elevated emotions, whether you look at David Hawkins' map of consciousness, whether you look at Hale Dwoskin's egg flap that Neville put it together. Um, they're all the same. Whether you look at the energy scales in Joe Dispenza's Becoming Supernatural book, the elevated emotions are your true nature: happiness, love, peace, limitlessness, free, abundance, grateful, harmony, because those are characteristics and attributes of the higher emotional states of God. Now, once you have that, then you're ready to get into the prayer and meditation. Here's just something too, is don't worry about whether you're a good meditator, if you're doing it right, if you're doing it wrong. When you go through the process, you'll naturally do it right. I promise. When you uh, when you go to sleep, for instance, as you go into that sleep, I don't care what kind of problems you have, stress, worry, whatever, when you finally fall asleep, all that goes away, doesn't it? And you experience your true nature, which has always been peace, which is bliss, is everything's okay, unconditional love. So if you're having a hard time daydreaming or wondering if you're doing it right, or I don't even know what I want life to look like, I would just encourage you to do this. Go through the process, go through the prayers and meditative practices. And as you release a lot of those negative emotions, the true nature of God, which is harmony, bliss, peaceful, um, joy, gratitude, will all start naturally happening in your life, guys. That's just what happens because that's your true nature. You've uncovered the true nature of this blissful, limitless um, perfection of God, the Spirit of God that's in you, around you, with you. That's always been true about you. Just naturally starts to flow. So my point in saying all this is, don't worry if you can't dream yet. If you can, I don't even know. I can't even imagine what it would feel like to feel normal. Um, just go through the process. Great things will naturally start happening to you that line up with those new energies that will make you feel loved, that will make you feel peaceful, that will make you feel limitless. So I'll kind of walk you through the process and then I'm going to stop and I'll actually I'll record a short prayer slash meditation to rapidly turn your goals into reality. But basically, it's like this, guys. When you take deep breaths, your brain waves slow down and you naturally go into a more of an alpha state. So when you take a deep breath, you can allow your body to completely relax. And you just tell yourself this. And you take another deep breath and you allow your mind to relax. And then the third time you can just say, when I take another deep breath, you can allow your mind and body to completely relax at this time. Now, here's where it really gets cool. When you get into alpha and theta, your subconscious, you can actually program what you believe. So when you take those uh, uh, three deep breaths like that, you tell yourself, take a deep breath, relax, feel my body completely relax. Take another deep breath, relax. Now my mind is completely relaxed. And when I take another deep breath, my mind and body are completely relaxed and everything's flowing through me. Now you can tell yourself and program yourself things. So every time you do this, you can say, every time I breathe, my mind and body are completely relaxed. I am a powerful creator in this state. Love, life, and abundance freely flows to me. Here's what's really cool. Your analytical mind's out of the way when you're in theta or when you're in alpha and theta, and your subconscious goes, oh, that's who we're going to be now, and that's who you become. So then I'm just encourage you to take your eyes and attention, your physical senses off all of creation, all of the physical things, and just sense the love and the light of God that's in you, that's around you. It's always been there, guys. And so when you take your attention off all your stuff and just allow your heart area to really start sensing and feeling all that love and light that's there, And I just will kind of walk you through it. Where I like to see this love and light as this beautiful light flowing through me, fills my whole body, where every cell in my body is flowing with the love and light of God, and it fills the whole room I'm in. And then I just love and bless myself. I love you. I bless you. And then you just see it extending into your home or your residence, wherever you live, and touch everybody there and feels the whole place you're in. And just see it as best you can, this love, this light, this peace and harmony of God just flowing out of you and touching your whole community and ultimately your whole country and ultimately the whole world as far as you can see. And just tell yourself this love and light is the peacefulness of God, it's the love of God, it's the light of God. Everything it touches, it brings into life, it brings into harmony, it brings into abundance. Thank you, God, that this is flowing through me. I promise you, you're in Alpha and Theta as you do that. And so you can take as much of this as you want. There's no limit. So you can really just enjoy that process. You can see that love and light flowing through you and right out of you, right out of your heart, your fingers, your toes. This beautiful light that just goes for another round. It goes through you and right out of you. It just creates this beautiful vortex. And every time it gets stronger, it gets bigger, it gets more powerful. There's this limitless power of love, of life, of creation that I can draw from whenever I want it. And then you just tell yourself, this is the love and light of God. It's harmony, it's peace. Everything it's touching, it's bringing to life, abundance, harmony, peace. The love of God, the life of God, the abundance of God, the health of God divinely flows through me and effortlessly changes everything in my life. That's what you do in your alpha and theta. And then you can just, in this relaxed state, you can remind yourself, now, what are the feelings that I'd love to be free from again? What what situation in your life would you like to be free from? And just whatever, just allow whatever thoughts and feelings there are to come up. It's okay for them to be there. That's unconditional love. Most of us push them down and try to say, "No, I don't like this," and we've been taught to in the church to pray completely incorrectly. Um, I bind you, if you're charismatic or you think there's good versus evil because of mistranslation. That good is going to conquer evil. No, that's fighting, guys. Love brings everything into harmony. There's no good versus evil in God. There's only life. There's no judgment in God. So when you welcome those feelings, you don't try to push them down. You just go, oh, and you actually love the situation. I love this feeling. I allow you to be here. I bless this feeling. I'm going to love this problem I'm in. I'm going to love this problem I'm in. It's okay because my true nature is the unconditional love of God. And as you do that, you'll naturally feel all those feelings dissolve. And as your energy changes, I promise you the problems dissolve with it because it's a change in energy. It has to change. And then just remind yourself again, now, if I knew all my prayers were answered, what would life look like? How would it feel? And allow yourself to picture whatever you wrote down there. And if you don't think you're very good at it, talk to yourself. It just feels so wonderful that I'm experiencing this in my career. It feels so wonderful that this is what my business is doing. It feels so wonderful that this is what my relationships look like. It feels so wonderful that this is how healthy I am in mind and body. And just realize you're literally taking the spirit of God and bending and shaping the physical world into that. Love is responsive to you. So you just notice how free you feel. And you notice how peaceful and limitless you feel. And you just really let go in your heart area and what it feels like knowing that all your prayers are answered. And then you naturally flow into gratitude. Now, just express the gratitude that you have to God, to the love of God, to all of creation, that what you just did has been answered. Feel how grateful you are that every one of your prayers has been answered. You just give gratefulness. Thank you, God. Thank you, however you express it. It's just like I always just out of habit, like, thank you, Lord. It feels so amazing that you respond to me, that you love me. Thank you that everything I just did, you're bringing into my reality effortlessly and peacefully. My prayers have been answered. And just know that love responds to you. You can count on it. You can trust it. How good does it feel? How grateful are you that you can trust in a love and power greater than yourselves that you have access to rapidly turn your goals into reality? Now bless your body and your mind. I just bless my body. I bless my mind. I love you. I bless you. Bless your life. I love my life. I bless my life. I love my life. Bless your problems. I love my problems. I bless my problems. They'll go away because that's unconditional love. And again, express your gratitude to love and creation Thank you. I'm so grateful that all my prayers have been answered. I love you. I bless you. Now, if it's in the morning, you can allow yourself to wake up. If you ever throughout the day your mind starts going back for, oh no, I wonder if this works, just remind yourself that you're completely loved and supported. There's a love within you and all around you that loves you so much that responds to you. And just remind yourself that, oh yeah, I've already shared this. I've already released this all to a love and creation greater than myself that's rapidly bringing it into reality for me. All things are already created. And that energy is just bringing it into my life. All of my prayers have been answered. Now, if you're going to go to bed, after you've done that, I love you. I bless you. I'm so grateful that all of my prayers have been answered. Just fall asleep. So that's how simple it is, guys. I walked you through it. I just wanted to give you an understanding. You don't even have to use this that much if you don't want. I just wanted to give you a little bit of understanding how it works. The real thing will come if you actually go through the prayer and meditation. I promise you, you'll get results beyond what you expected, and you'll be pleasantly surprised at how fast it works. So hopefully that helps, guys. God bless.